Hi everyone, welcome to this series of fakeaways with me, Jennifer. It's Friday night and everyone loves to take away on Friday night, but with the lockdown, everyone's getting pretty fed up with having to cook and not having very much money. So let's make some fakeaways that you can make yourself super fast, very cheap and easily made in your Thermomix. So tonight I'm going to be making pizza that's going to serve the whole family. First off, I'm going to get the dough made. So you're going to need all the ingredients that I listed at the beginning of this video. And then first off, we're just going to add the water to the Thermomix. So you just want 220 grams of water that has been brought to room temperature. Next up, you're going to add a teaspoon of sugar. I've just got some caster sugar here. Making sure that you place it into the Thermomix without getting the center of the blades. You want it into the water so that it can mix really nicely with your yeast. So then we're going to add 8 grams of yeast. And if you're able to get fresh yeast, you can use fresh yeast, but it's a bit hard to find at the moment with the lockdown. All the bakers are trying to use the yeast for the bread that they need to make. So luckily you can buy these sachets of dry yeast. One of these sachets is 7 grams, so you just need the other gram out of your other sachet. And then just popping the lid on. That's already pre-programmed, so it's just going to mix together for 20 seconds on speed 2. Okay, lovely. So what we're going to do is add some strong white bread flour. And we want 400 grams of that. Okay, and then you want a really nice, good quality olive oil to use here. And we're just adding 30 grams of olive oil. Remembering not to go too quickly when you add liquids to the Thermomix because it just takes a second to catch up. Perfect. Okay, now we just need a teaspoon of finely ground salt. And then we're going to place the lid on the Thermomix. And it's all preset, 2 minutes on the dough function. So we just turn the dial, let it do all the hard work while I clear up. Okay, that's all finished. So I've just got my board here, which has a lightly floured surface, and I've got my bowl ready to put the dough in to allow it to prove, and I just put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom. Now you can use this dough straight away if you want to, if you're absolutely desperate and you've got hungry children, that's no problem. It'll just be a little bit more elasticy as you're trying to roll it out, but it's absolutely fine. It will be delicious. But in this instance, I'm going to let it prove, because I've got enough time on my hands. So I've just taken the base off the bottom of the bowl. It's the easiest thing to do when you've got dough and it's a bit sticky inside. So just turn the whole bowl over onto your surface and just push the center down. Everything comes out in one go. Got 2 tiny little bits of dough left on the bowl, otherwise that's clean. And then I'm simply just gonna take those blades out. Just get off any last bits of dough and pop the blades back in the bowl so they're safe. And then I'm just going to bring this to a nice circular piece of dough. And then I'm going to pop that in my bowl. I'm going to leave that to prove for an hour with a wet cloth over the top of it in somewhere that is fairly warm. Not too warm, but just somewhere centrally in your kitchen. And when it's ready, then you can just punch the air out the dough and roll it out ready to make your pizzas. So next up I'm going to make the pizza sauce. Then this will have proven and we'll be ready to start making up our pizzas. Okay, so while that dough is proving, I'm going to make the sauce to go on top of the pizzas. So I've got half a red onion here, 2 cloves of garlic. Going to add a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, but you can use any mix of basil or oregano, whatever you've got. Going to add a teaspoon of salt, some black pepper, and just want a splash of good quality olive oil. And 6 grams there. And then we're going to add some tomato puree. So that's coming up as 43 grams, but 40 grams will be fine. And then we've got some chopped tomatoes. And I'm just going to add roughly half a can. Which works out 130 grams. Now I'm going to chop that together for 5 seconds on speed 6. And then just scraping down the sides of the bowl. If you like a fairly chunky consistency to your pizza sauce, then just leave it as it is. Or if you're dealing with children, as I am, we're just going to add a teaspoon of sugar. And then I'm going to chop it again for 5 seconds on speed 6. Okay, that's perfect pizza sauce, ready to smear on top of your pizzas and add all the toppings you like. Okay, so my dough is proved. I have a pizza tray already with just a little bit of oil rubbed into it to make sure the pizza doesn't stick. I'm just going to divide my dough up into 4. Okay, so I'm going to work with 1/4 at a time. Just gently stretching it into a circle to begin with. Laying it down on this lightly floured surface. And then just starting to roll it out. Doesn't have to be perfectly circular. After all, this is a homemade pizza. And just using your hands to manipulate the dough as well. Okay, when it's the size you want it to be, just lift it up, and then you're going to place it on to your pizza tray, or if you've got one, a pizza stone. You can just trim off any of the edges which are going to be sticking up, just so that they all fit in nicely, and then just add that dough back to your original pile. Okay, then you're going to start making up your pizza. So to begin with, I'm going to add some of our topping. You can use as much or as little as you want, just placing some in the middle. And then just rotating the dish, drawing the sauce all the way to the edges. I just used about a couple of tablespoons there. And then obviously you can use whatever toppings you like. I've chosen to use some mozzarella for this particular pizza. So I've just got the round chunky mozzarella that you can get in the shops, and I've just chopped that into squares. It's just roughly chopped. Obviously it was a ball, so not very easy to make it into perfect squares. Okay, just like so, and then I'm going to add some mushrooms to this pizza. And I've also got some raisins and some pine nuts here, and I've just added a tiny bit of olive oil, so just coated them so that they're not going to burn when they're in the oven. I'm just going to sprinkle some of those over the top. And then I've got some freshly chopped garlic. Just about 1 clove of garlic per pizza. And then I've got a couple of leaves of spinach, which I'm just going to scatter across the pizza. And then to finish with, I'm going to just lightly drizzle with a little of olive oil and there's my pizza ready to go into the oven. So I've now got enough dough to make 3 more pizzas. I'm going to make another pizza like this, and then I'm going to do a mozzarella and chicken pizza, and I'm going to make one like this but with vegan cheese. So this is my fake away night, absolutely sorted. As you can see, it was so quick and so easy, and it's cost me hardly anything. And one of the other amazing things is that I've just used stuff that I've got in the cupboard and any leftovers from the fridge. So it's a bit of a fridge clear out. It's great for a Friday night, and you're going to keep everybody happy with homemade pizzas. So if you would like any more information about Thermomix, my details are coming below. Please do send me a message, and happy fake away night. Bye guys.